A lot of women see men as disposable goods. And they think, a lot of them, there's always an option or a better option waiting out there for them. And it is because of this complexity. A lot of ladies suffer from a complexity of the illusions of options. They think that they will always have a man at whatever age that they're in, and there's always some rich guy that is waiting for them at the end of the corner. And some of these things is due to how they are socialized, based on social media, based on Hollywood, based on the norms in society. So a lot of them think that they can just dispose of men and that they can recycle people. And unfortunately for a lot of them, time catches up to a whole lot of them. Now, the sad part is this. It is no fault of their own, but it is the norms that society has created. And this thing started way before us. And it started from the historical sacrifice of men when men were used to be pinned and into going into war. So the men would sacrifice themselves for their countries, for the women of their countries and their children. And that thing has been perpetuated and entrenched in society, that men are the ones who have to bend over and backwards for society. Now, since there's instant gratification, there's social media, if men don't fit specific profiles, those men can always be discarded, and women tell themselves that they can always get a better man at whatever given time. But unfortunately for them, the biggest enemy of women is time, because there's a time frame in a whole lot of them where they are at the prime, they have a lot of options, they have a lot of good men at their disposal. Some of them, or most of them, do play with those options, and they think in their later life they're going to have those options. Or maybe even in the pursuit of career, they think, no, love is not important, my career comes over a man, and all these things. And the opposite of that is that men, regardless of what they're doing, we pursue the things that we want for the women that we love. Men seldomly do stuff for themselves. Out of all the accolades we're chasing after and we want in our lives, those things we want to give them to someone. It's never really about us at the end. Now, these things have came into society in many aspects. Men have been the ones to be the first to jump into dangerous situations, and they'll be the ones to jump inside a fire. So those norms in the heads of a lot of women, a man must be doing anything and everything to please them to a degree, or to do anything to keep them around. And that thing, it creates a narcissistic and selfish tendency from a lot of them, because they expect men to put themselves in very precarious situations where it doesn't even benefit both parties. And men get nothing in return in that instance. The other part is that even in older times, men are the ones to exit the sinking ship. Men must sacrifice themselves for women instead of their wives and their families. And now you find that aspect in a dating market where you just meet someone today and someone expects you to sacrifice everything about yourself and do everything for them, of which is madness to a degree. And now, media also, now in the timeline that we live in, media has played a huge role in the socialization of women in regards of the idea of men. It is the knight in shining armor complex that you always need to rescue them. Hence, a lot of them, they're so self-entitled. They are always expecting that they will make bad decisions in their lives. You find them, they have multiple kids with men. She's got 5 children, and then at a later stage in her life, she says, if you love me, you will love me with my children. And the reality of the story is most men will never pick that reality. And they are out here being miserable and bitter, and they say they hate men. And a lot of them don't necessarily hate men. They hate the choices in men that they've made. Now they are projecting to men that have never been in their lives. Now they suddenly have a hatred towards men. So a lot of these instances are self-perpetuated, where even men, the way they're socialized right now, in the day and age in 2025, men have seen that there is no benefit in marrying these women. There's no benefit in taking these women seriously, because at the end of the day, this video is regarded to good men. I'm not talking about any random guy. And the good men have seen that it is very wasteful and useless for you to pour your life in a woman. So men are not approaching women anymore. Men are not getting married anymore, because you get the raw end of the stick. You get played at the end of the day. And you got nothing to show for it. Because whenever they feel unhappy, they will leave you. Now, even with the provider complex, a lot of women expect men to come into their lives and provide everything for them. But the problem is one. A lot of them are not even in the spirit of being a wife. They want men to come and be providers, but they're not displaying features or acting in a wifely way, because a lot of them lack modesty. A lot of them lack morality. They expect the men to come and provide, but they want to never have rules, and they never want to listen to a man. They want to do whatever they want, but they want somebody's son to come into their lives and do whatever for them, of which is madness. And a lot of these things where women don't take men's feelings seriously, it is this complexity that has came through the ages, where a men don't cry complex. And that thing defeats a lot of things, because men are scared to be vulnerable, because the reality of the story is 9 times out of 10, when men pre-expose their feelings to women, they get gaslighted, their feelings become weaponized, their trauma becomes weaponized. So men internalize a lot of things. So men are seen as brick walls, and women have taken that thing that, no, whatever I do to him, you'll get over it. He's a man at the end of the day. So it is that complexity where men are supposed to be getting over whatever women do to them, of which is not right. And also another thing, we live in a society right now where women are saying that men need to be more vulnerable. And now when men open up, the ideology of him being the man who is strong and all these things, when you show the vulnerable side, it changes the whole dynamic of the relationship. Most women can never see you in the same way. They expect you to be the hero who dies on the horse for their benefit and their needs. But when you have to open up about your challenges, the things that stress you, most of them cannot comprehend that. So they want a man who is disposable, who will die like a hero on a horse, not a man who will get off the horse and say, I am tired of climbing that horse and dying for you. Please help me throughout this journey. They don't want to do that, which is very sad. Now, out of all the things that I've said, is that women in general need to do better. There's a lot of expectations that society has towards men, but women don't have expectations of themselves, of the things that they need to cater for men. And if men don't fit certain profiles, they discard them. And if they don't fit specific profiles, they expect to be loved, of which is madness.